What is topography? Topography, by definition, is the arrangement of natural and artificial physical features of an area. The topography of an area can influence the weather and climate. So, in relation to climate change, depending on the surrounding conditions and physical features of the environment, both natural and artificial, the climate can and is affected. Topography is the relief of an area. If an area is close to a body of water, it tends to make milder climates. Mountainous areas tend to have more extreme weather because it acts as a barrier to the air movements and moisture. For example, one side of a mountain can be dry, while the other side is full of vegetation.
Altitude causes mountainous areas to be cooler than adjacent areas at lower altitude, causing vast differences in climate despite their close proximity. The processes creating these conditions include orographic rainfall and the rain shadow effect. Orographic rainfall is the process by which moist air is forced to rise due to a topographical feature, such as a mountain range. This moist air is forced to cool and expand due to the colder conditions at the higher altitude, causing it to lose moisture and transform into rain or snow. This leaves only the drier air to continue down the mountain. The rain shadow effect involves this already dry air being compressed and becoming warmer as it descends from the high altitude, causing the areas adjacent to the mountain to become those of deserts and semi-arid areas with little flora and fauna due to low levels of moisture. This is named the rain shadow effect as the mountain is shielding and shadowing this area from the moist air, which would be transformed into rain had the mountain not have been there. Likewise, the mountain also shields these desert-like areas from being subjected to winds.
Mount Kilimanjaro is a prime example of how topography affects climate. At 5,895 metres tall, Mount Kilimanjaro is the largest freestanding mountain in the world. Because of its size and altitude, Mount Kilimanjaro creates its own microclimates. Summer is significantly colder than the arid surrounding plains as temperature decreases with altitude. This means that despite its position on the equator in Tanzania, the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro is capped in ice all year round. These ice caps and glacier fields at the summit shrink in the dry season but are regenerated in the wet. The huge structure also interrupts wind movement, affecting the climate of its surroundings. The process of orographic rainfall and the rain shadow effect mean that, while the base and middle areas of the mountain are lush from rain, there is a large rain shadow to the mountain's southeast, where this warm, dry air ends up. This area becomes arid and dry, resulting in dry savanna bushlands on the leeward side of the mountain. Mount Kilimanjaro, known as the Water Tower, is also of vital importance to the surrounding arid areas. The water collected on the mountain during the wet seasons flow off in streams, feeding the rivers that the residents of the plains need to survive. The mountain itself is home to a variety of ecosystems as a result of this process. The base and lower slopes are covered in banana and coffee plantations, which move into thick rainforest home to a diverse range of birds and animals. This is where the majority of the rain falls. In the higher sections, the forests give way to moors and alpine bogs, which mainly comprise of grasses and succulents inhabited by small rodents and birds. Finally, the summit is an alpine desert capped in snow and covered in glacier fields, where only tough grass grows and lichen. Unfortunately, due to deforestation and climate change, the glacier fields and ice caps of Mount Kilimanjaro are under threat. The ice caps have shrunk by 82% since 1912, and the glacier fields have suffered a 55% loss since 1962. These changes in the balance of the ecosystem could have untold effects on the area's environment and those who rely on it. Scientists predict that at this rate, the ice could disappear entirely within 20 years' time.